Hey, welcome to Cow Free Kicks. Today's review is all about the REEBOK ZIG Kinetica 2. Welcome to the channel. If you have not seen one of my videos before, and if you have, you will know I always start by saying I look into 5 main things when I review a pair of shoes. At the end of the video, I will then give them an overall rating out of 5 stars. If you like what you see is going on, please, as always, do not hesitate to click the little thumbs up like button below to show your support. You can drop any comments, and also whilst you're down there, if you want to, you can subscribe to the channel and click the little bell that pops up next to the subscribe button if you do, and you'll get a fresh notification every time a fresh video drops on the channel. If you do also want to be in with the chance of winning a pair of sneakers, I am still doing a giveaway, and all you have to do is watch the Nike Wear All Day link that I will put up at the end of the video. Go and watch that review of the Nike Wear All Days, and full terms and conditions of the giveaway are on there. Right, let's not hold this up any longer because I really want to get into starting this review off by talking about how these Zig Kinetica 2s look and showing you them on feet. Oh, the REEBOK ZIG Kinetica 2s. I wasn't a big fan of the Zig Kinetica 1s, but what REEBOK have done with this one is created a shoe that looks even worse than its predecessor, and I just don't know why. Don't forget, REEBOK is owned by Adidas. Adidas, great minds there, great designers, and they've come up with a shoe that looks even worse than its predecessor, and I don't know where they're going with it. I don't know what direction they've gone in. There's nothing for me that's aesthetically pleasing about this shoe. It starts for me with this full synthetic upper. Now for me it's quite abrasive, and then on top of that you've got some TPU spiderweb grid detailing. I'm not even sure why that's on there. I don't really like that effect. I think it looks a bit childish, to be honest. Then underneath that in the midfoot, kind of got this wavy, almost like camo detailing that's in this darker green. Now on this shoe it's in a darker green because obviously you've got this green line here above the midsole. This colourway for me is one of the better ones that you've got out there. The ones with the predominant black uppers do look the best of a bad bunch. Some of the colourways out there, just I don't understand who put that together. Like, who thought that and that and that looks good, because for me they just don't at all. It's all on top of this midsole, which is the selling point for the sneaker, because the zag and zig, the zig and zag creates an energy return. So when you flex it, it springs back, and it's also got a dual technology in the midsole. You can see here you've got the Floatride energy return midsole in the forefoot, and at the back you've got the Floatride Fuel, this spongy little ball at the back. And again, you've got kind of more grid-like spiderweb cutaways on the sole of the shoe. As you move around to the heel, it's very plain at the heel. You've got this little REEBOK embossed heel tab here, and you've got some more zig detailing that comes up from the midsole onto the back of the shoe. On the inside again, you've got the same spiderweb detailing with this kind of camo effect underneath. When you move to the tongue of the shoe, you've got this looped lace detailing, and then you've got these lace loops here in the green that matches the bottom of the sole of the shoe again. This tongue here has kind of like got a butterfly wing effect at the top of it with some extra padding on. I don't really like the way that that looks when it sits on top of your foot at all, to be honest, and it is very flimsy, this tongue. Then you move to the back of the shoe again. On the inside of the heel you've got some more padding, which is quite nice, which is going to bring me on to the comfort, where I want to put the midsole to the test and also talk in more detail about how the upper of this shoe is all wrong. Comfort wise, let's start with this midsole before we start talking about the downsides of the upper of the sneaker. Now the midsole, you've got the dual technology, you've got the Floatride energy in the forefoot, which unfortunately, as you can see from the step test, it doesn't really offer really good return at all. I didn't really feel any bounce back in the forefoot area of this shoe, and it really does feel like it tails off a lot towards the end of your toes. So when you are walking and flexing your foot, this part of the shoe here almost feels very dead underfoot. Now it's very much the reverse when you get to the middle of the foot and the end where you've got the Floatride Fuel cell. It does feel very nice. Now it's very squishy, this little ball in the back of the heel, and you can feel that, and you could see on the step test that there was a great amount of energy response in the midfoot and in the heel. So you can feel a nice amount of comfort there. Unfortunately, all of the comfort underfoot for me is negated by the fact that these aren't very flexible at all, and that really comes across when you're walking in them. And the top of the sneaker really is a massive letdown for me. Possibly the easiest part of the shoe to get right comfort wise is just slipping your foot in and making it feel soft on top of your foot. Unfortunately, Reebok have got it all wrong with this one and with this tongue insert. Now the tongue's got padding on, which feels nice on the top of your foot, and you've got extra padding around the heel. But the tongue of the sneaker stops just here on the inside of the shoe. You can kind of see there where I'm flexing, it just stops there, which is where your toe creases are, just at the end of your foot, just at the start of your toes. The tongue has not been sewn in very well at all, and it feels very abrasive in that area, and especially just here on your big toe. And you can feel that, and it just doesn't really feel very nice to me at all on the top of my foot, that there's this abrasive scratching as I'm walking along. And then you get towards the heel of the sneaker, and this material here, it kind of sticks out a little bit, as you can see. And when you pull it in with the laces, it doesn't actually pull in around the top of your heel. So if you are walking along, it will kind of squish up and fan out, and you can get your finger down there quite easily. And then even if you're stood still, you can easily fit your finger around the top of your heel. It doesn't really support your foot very well, and I think that's a massive letdown for these sneakers. Next, I want to move on to their weight, where I'm going to pop them on the scales to see how much they weigh. Weighing in at 392 grams. Not a bad weight, but it is unfortunately on the heavy side. Around 330 and below is considered lightweight for me, and these do definitely come in the heavier category because they are almost at 400 grams. You can kind of feel that they are a little bit heavy in hand towards the heel just because of the amount of midsole that you've got on the shoe. Now the upper does feel quite lightweight, to be honest, but because you've got all this kind of unnecessary plastic detailing just above the midsole, I think they could have made these lighter by removing that. So I do think they do come in on the heavy side. Next, I want to move on to their breathability, where I'm going to pump the sneaker full of smoke to see how breathable it is. Oh, something to celebrate for the Reebok Zig Kinetica 2s, and that's their breathability. Now, you can't see it by the naked eye just by looking at them here, but there are very small perforations throughout the fabric that run from just here at the start of the heel all the way through to the toe. You can see that's where the smoke escaped from, all those little perforations. You could also see the smoke escaping very well from just the sides of the tongue here. Now, the tongue almost just fits perfectly where the upper meets the foot. So there are going to be also elements there that are going to make it nice and breathable. Now I want to move on to their price. Now these are retailed at £90, but do not forget, Reebok always have a discount code somewhere. Now I use the discount code SAVE20 and I saved 20%, and I got these for £72. I would not want to pay any more than £72 for these shoes. Now, you've got to remember, the price is relative to what you're getting for that money that you're spending. £90 for me is too overpriced, so I think £72 is a much fairer price. That's going to bring me on to my overall score for these Reebok Zig Kinetica 2s, and I'm going to give them possibly a surprising 2.5 stars. Now I'm giving them 2.5 stars because they are a very breathable shoe, and also do not forget the price of £72. That's a very low price point, and the comfort underfoot for that price is actually pretty good. But unfortunately the comfort is let down by how they feel on top of the foot, and they are also on the heavy side. And do not forget, I gave them 0 stars for looks. One of the things I forgot to mention in the looks section that I really did not like about these is when you look at them from up top, how wide they are. For me, they're just too wide. This part of the shoe is too narrow, and the way that they fan out. Now don't forget, they're possibly fanning out a bit bigger around the forefoot area to give you a larger surface for when you're running. But I wouldn't take these running because I don't think they're comfortable enough, and I do not think they are lightweight enough. that's going to bring me to the end of the review. If you've liked what you've seen, please do not forget to give the video a big thumbs up with the like button below on your device. If you want to follow me on Instagram, please do. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And hopefully I'll see you again soon for another one. Thanks for watching. Bye.